So I'll get started. This recording will be shared as well in our website, and very happy to be with you during the 3 days. I'll always join during this time to do this quick recap of our day here. Hi, Ali. Uh, so I think, as you might know, the most important aspect of this meeting is the idea of getting to a consensus around the roadmap and making sure that we have recommendations that would have buy-in from different stakeholders, interest holders. And most especially because we are in South Africa, we are now celebrating 70 years of the Freedom Charter that was a very important document to guide the action, the political action here in the country. So today is the day that it was being celebrated, and this is why we also decided to pursue um, Cape Town Consensus Charter. That is the document that we are writing more or less a call to action during the 3 days of the meeting in terms of understanding the endorsement that we have around the roadmap and all the beautiful work that colleagues have been developing in the different reports and recommendations for each working group. So I think the recap of the day would start just framing exactly what I just framed to you, that we are here in South Africa. We are celebrating this moment. We had a beautiful session on storytelling about the use of evidence that was delivered by storytellers here from South Africa, based on the work that PACE and eBase developed together. Carrie Albright, one of the Secretariat members, was presenting an overview of the roadmap and what contributions we received in the open consultation, which was also quite nice. And following that, we went to the breakout rooms that today were debating the infrastructure component. So each of the working groups that we had were one of the infrastructure components. So demand side, data sharing, ethical use of AI, methods and process innovation, capacity sharing, governance, a group on monitoring, evaluation, and learning, and another on change management. So in the last hours of the morning and in the first hours of the afternoon, participants chose two groups to go to, and they changed the debate and were updated about the key components. In these working groups, what people were debating was, first of all, what of the recommendations make participants more excited, resonate best with their context. As you know, here we are with the people that participated during the planning process from January to June, but we also have 80 other colleagues that are coming from different parts of this ecosystem and participating for the first time and interacting for the first time with the roadmap. So getting the sense of what makes people excited was really key. And then we also had some raising of concerns and risks as the second prompt for the working groups. And what I can tell you is that by the end of the day, when we reach the plenary for consensus building, is the time, the hour that we are dedicating to try and understand what are key topics that still need to be mature and debated. The first highlight of the consensus plenary was just recognizing the level of support and excitement around these recommendations, around this opportunity. So I think even though people really trust the work that has been developed these past 6 months, just it was really amazing to see how much this resonated with different colleagues and how much buy-in already people express around it and desire to guide their organizations towards making this vision come to fruition and setting examples on how their work already is like in dialogue with the recommendation. So this was really, really amazing. And also the broad principles, the show me the evidence principles that we highlighted, and specifically the principles around collaboration, representation, transparency, equity, and agility, they resonated throughout the groups as something that make people very excited to endorse. So yeah, I think this would be a first message of a beautiful day of excitement and people trying to recognize how their work already aligns or can align with the vision that our roadmap is promoting. And then we identified cross groups. So each group had plenty of suggestions, specific suggestions about capacity sharing or demand side. But cross groups, we had some pressing issues that were raised as concerns and things that we needed to debate a little further. And the final session then was dedicated to debating these issues. So the first issue was the issue about some neglected sectors and stakeholders, interest holders, either because they were not invited or represented in this first planning process, or because even if they had a chair in the planning process, probably their voices doesn't surface as mainstream in the document. So having this debate, the groups really brought to us examples of different groups that they wanted to include, more specifically different sectors such as environment that they really want to see a little bit more reflection around, and also some approaches to address this neglect, such as adding an annex about distinctions of these groups that are relevant, and undertaking maybe something of a political economy mapping that would surface groups like publishers that could make or break the effort. So identifying also what are groups that maybe aren't in the room, but could pose some barriers to the vision or could be really big facilitators of this vision if engaged adequately is something that surfaced. Then there is this idea that people really like. There is this idea of being a community of communities and having subsidiarity as a principle of this work. But at the same time, recognizing that while we can and should tap into the communities that already exist, um, orchestrating efforts is not easy, and we really need to have a very coordinated and well-governed effort together so that people don't duplicate efforts and are not overstepping each other's work, right? So we had some people in the plenary debating specifically this topic in small tables, and they generally just recognized that there was a need for some sort of coordination among these different parts of the infrastructure, the many interest holders, the many sectors. Most of them position this as maybe a transition until we get to this new norm of collaborating and working together. And most of them also reiterated their desire to have ongoing communication about next steps by the funders or by the big organizations that are also taking this vision forward. A light touch governance function that could help us in this transition, and just a commitment to adapt and evolve over time, recognizing that we took a picture of a moment, but with the technology and the initial collaboration efforts will probably learn more and then require another level of support in terms of being a community of communities. And finally, we also, like in the morning and the afternoon, had many unintended consequences and risks that this vision might pose come to fruition. And we had a dedicated discussion about this in the final session as well. Many risks were highlighted by colleagues, risks related to if we don't make this vision work, what is the like consequence of maybe only having this opportunity again many, many years from now, the risks around trust, the risks about the geopolitical scenario, so as you can imagine, like people really trying to position this vision with many of the real world problems that we have so far, and some of them were really mapped from the initial planning efforts. Some of them are just arising and are like in dialogue with the current events. So one thing that in the end of the day, I think is a very positive twist on this idea of risk is that one of our colleagues highlighted that probably the biggest risk is not doing like not trying to bring this vision to fruition just as a counterfactual, not making any intervention and hoping for the best is the biggest risk than us banding together and managing any of the other risks as they come. And I think this was a nice framing that in the end of the day, we all left the room feeling, yeah, this desire to collectively endorse and commit to taking this vision forward and learning as we go. And of course, managing the risk that we already have mapped to make sure that this is following the principles that we outline and following the vision that we believe will take us forward. So this is like a super quick recap. I don't know if you have any specific questions or reactions to what I said. As you know, in the website, that we also upload in a few more hours a written daily digest that covers more or less what I told you with a little more detail in terms of words. Um, but yes, I don't know if you have any comments, questions, reactions.
Thanks, Laura. Yeah, I think that sounds great. Perfect recap. I look forward to seeing the upload to the website as well. I just wanted to say I like that idea of kind of approaching the uh, this is almost like a risk management strategy, like approach to like a previously identified risk. So I think that's nice. Yeah, and thank you.
That's lovely. That's lovely. Sorry, I am showing up as Elsbeth because I'm in the computer of our amazing colleague, but I myself am Laura, and I've been helping the colleagues from the planning analyst team that have each been assigned to one of the working groups to collect the information for the working group reports, and also I was acting as mentor to the early and mid-career colleagues that on day 3 will have a beautiful plenary showing a little bit of their vision for as future leaders of this beautiful initiative that we are shaping. So great
Yeah,
to be. Ellie, you open your microphone. Do you want
Yeah, I
to?
just want to say first, thanks, Laura. That's very helpful. And thank you for this opportunity to have some insight about the discussions. And I know it takes time and effort at the end of a long day to do that. So thanks.
No, not sure. We were really mindful that for a series of reasons, not everyone can be here. And this conversation, it's really like it should get you all the community, right? Because we are trying to shape something that really resonates through different contexts and sectors. So really happy to take the time. In the end of the day, we like brainstorm the wording for the digest and then uh, 15, 20 minutes of delaying my dinner is not a problem at all to make sure that you are getting firsthand. I feel like a correspondent now from Cape Town.
Yeah,
So yes.
yeah, thanks.
Yeah, that's great. So this will be is recorded and will be available in our website alongside the Daily Digest in written form. And of course, tomorrow we'll come back, bring more news. Tomorrow our day is focused on interest holder groups. So I think we'll have very interesting debates with multilaterals, with funders, with citizens. And I'm happy to report back tomorrow. But have a great rest of the day wherever you are.